Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the June 12th Burbank Parks and Recreation Board meeting. Let's all stand up for a flag salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. All right. Mr. Chad Thompson, roll call, please.
Good evening. Chair R.M. Masarlian.
Here.
Vice Chair Ashley Ramsey.
Here.
Board Member Maisha Gamino.
Here.
Board Member Robert Brody.
Here.
Board Member Mickey DiPaolo.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce Mr. Derek Baker for some announcements.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, Chair R.M. Masarlian and members of the board. Thank you to everyone joining us this evening as well. My name is Derek Baker, Recreation Coordinator for the Burbank Volunteer Program in the Parks and Recreation Department. Tonight, I have the pleasure of sharing the department's program announcements and updates. Please begin the slideshow for me, Megan. I Spy Burbank. The Centennial Celebration continues with a brand new Agents of Discovery mission at Robert Gross Park. Use the Agents of Discovery app to explore an interactive augmented reality experience, uncover fun facts, and find hidden gems throughout the park. Get outside, have fun, and discover Burbank's parks in a whole new way. Visit your local recreation center or go to www.burbankca.gov/parks100 for details. Next slide. Moonlight Hike. Join us for a moonlight hike on July 10th and August 8th. Enjoy a unique evening workout while basking in the full moon's glow. Hike times vary depending on sunset. Visit burbankparks.com for details and to register. Don't miss your chance to experience nature in a whole new light. Retro Camp Out. Get ready to camp under the stars, retro style. Join the Parks and Recreation Department for a Centennial Retro Campout on June 14 and 15 at Robert Gross Park. Enjoy a night of outdoor fun with family activities, arts and crafts, a movie in the park, glow bike rides, and more. Tickets are only $15 per person. Includes dinner and breakfast. Register now at www.burbankparks.com. That is a good one. I heard you. Angel City Adaptive Soccer Event. Join us for a free adaptive soccer event with Club de Football Monterey in partnership with Angel City Sports. This event will take place at McCambridge Park on June 15th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It is open to all ages and abilities. Secure your spot today by registering at www.burbankparks.com. Burbank Dodger Day. Get ready, Burbank. It's time for Dodger Baseball. Join us on Sunday, July 20th at 1:30 p.m. for a day of fun, friends, and baseball action. Grab your tickets now at burbankparks.com. Centennial Photo Gallery. Come celebrate a century of parks, people, and purpose through the lens of our community. The Burbank Centennial Photo Contest Gallery will be on display for all to enjoy. Stop by and explore stunning photos submitted by local residents, showcasing the beauty, history, and heart of Burbank. Visit www.burbankca.gov/BLCAC for gallery times. Dig Burbank. This is my program here that I run. We are seeking volunteers for our upcoming Dig Days on July 5th and August 2nd from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. at Tuttle Senior Center and at the Betsy Lukey Creative Arts Center. Lend a helping hand by cleaning up litter, weeding, and planting. To register for this voluntary program, visit www.burbankparks.com. Urban Forest Master Plan. The City of Burbank is developing an urban forest master plan, a long-term strategy to grow and care for Burbank's urban forest. We want to hear from you. Take a quick survey and share your thoughts about Burbank's urban forest. Visit www.burbankca.gov/urban forest master plan or score the QR code on the screen. Your voice will help shape the future of Burbank's trees for today and future generations. Follow us. Stay in the loop with the latest Parks and Rec updates by connecting with us on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you. This concludes the department announcements.
Thank you, Derek. Are you sure you don't do any voiceover work on the side?
Well, I kind of use different voices. It depends what you need.
Thank you so much. Next, I'd like to invite up Miss Erin Barrows for a presentation.
Good evening, Chair Masurlian and board members. Erin Barrows, Recreation Services Manager of the Parks and Recreation Department. I'm here tonight to share a few important updates with you. The Starlight Bowl is excited to present a summer concert season, though with some adjustments. As you know, the venue sustained significant damage during the January windstorms, rendering it inoperable for the 2025 Summer Concert Series. However, we are thrilled to introduce Starlight on Tour 2025 season lineup, bringing the magic to you. This year, our summer programming has been reimagined with events relocated to alternative venues across the city. All music and movies in the park events will take place at Johnny Carson Park or at McCambridge Park and will be free for the entire community to enjoy. Our Starlight on Tour 2025 schedule is as follows. On Saturday, June 28th, join us for a viewing of The Wild Robot at Johnny Carson Park. Activities and music will begin at 6 p.m. with the showing of the movie at 8 p.m. On Saturday, July 19th, we'll be doing an Encanto sing-along, also at Johnny Carson Park. Again, we'll have the event start at 6 p.m. with the movie at 8 p.m. On August 29th, we will be celebrating the Parks and Recreation Centennial Bash, featuring the Spasmatics and the Platinum Groove. Event will start at 4:30 with a showcase of all the wonderful things that Parks and Rec has to offer, with live music starting at 6:15. On August 23rd, we're going to go back to Johnny Carson Park for a combo of a live band and movie. We'll have the remotes kick things off, and they do covers of all different TV theme songs through the years. And then we'll take it back to the 80s with a viewing of the original Footloose. And on Saturday, September 13th, we'll be collaborating with the Burbank Cultural Arts Commission with the Fall Festival. More details to follow on that. Additionally, due to the devastating wildfires our neighbors experienced earlier this year, the annual Burbank 4th of July fireworks display will not take place. Instead, we are offering a free concert at McCambridge Park featuring Bruno and the Hooligans, which is a Bruno Mars tribute, and the Ultimate Rock Band. And the sky will come alive with a dazzling drone show by Verge Aero kicking off at 9 p.m. For complete details of the movie and concert lineup, visit www.starlightbowl.com. While admission is free, we encourage everyone to RSVP. Just like at Starlight Bowl, guests are welcome to bring blankets, and low-rise chairs. Seating is open and available on a first-come, first-served basis. Food trucks will be available at select events, but guests are welcome to bring their own food and beverages. Please remember that alcohol is not permitted in our parks. We can't wait to welcome you this summer for a season filled with exciting activities, captivating movies, and unforgettable music under the stars. This concludes my update, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions if you have any.
No, I saw the announcement of the 4th of July, I think it was like yesterday or the day before online.
Yes,
Yeah.
it came out yesterday.
Yeah, it was great. So I think that's going to be fantastic alternative way to pivot so quickly from what normally is the Starlight Bowl season to coming up with these really cool free concerts, and hopefully everyone gets a chance to go to one or two or as many as you can. So appreciate that, and so I'm glad all the details will be at starlightbowl.com in terms of
Correct.
the dates and times and the bands and like what's permitted, what's not, and all that stuff.
Correct.
So
And we'll be doing social media posts along the way as well. The press release did just come out, but we will be on Facebook and Instagram through the City of Burbank government social media handle, along with Parks and Rec and Starlight Bowl.
and are the bands going to be? I'm assuming you also build out a stage, so they'll be up on a stage.
We have a trailer stage coming for the concerts at McCambridge, and then when we're at Johnny Carson
On
Park,
the
we're going to use the
cement stage.
existing cement stage that's there, yes.
Cool, good stuff. Go ahead, Robbie.
Aaron, will you be piloting the drones for the July 4th show?
I think we want to keep it safe for everybody, so.
If you had said yes, it would not surprise me, given how much you do. So, I don't even know what that's all about. Will those drone fireworks scare our dogs?
They are not fireworks. So it is, think about tiny robots taking over the sky. And it's going to be a 400 drone show, approximately 15 minutes long. And they'll create different graphics up in the sky with a patriotic theme. The show is going to be launched from the Starlight Bowl parking lot, but the hillside will remain closed to the public for the safety of all. So we have been told that visibility of the drones is similar to that of fireworks.
Before, and they're absolutely fun, and they are. I've seen them as visible as fireworks before,
But
and they have a lot
not
more control over how they move. So
Correct.
it's really
Not
neat.
noisy, not scary.
Not noisy. We will, with the company that we're working with, there will, a QR code will come out that you can download an app, and there's going to be music that goes along with the drone show. And it'll give you updates to like 5 minutes to the show. The show is, this isn't going to happen, but the show is delayed a minute. And when the show starts and the app is open, the music will kick in. And at McCambridge Park, we will also have the music synced up to our sound system for those that are joining us at McCambridge for the
Wow.
concert.
Very cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, sorry, Mickey. Go ahead.
Real quick, Aaron, is it going to be held down the lower park where people are seated down on Amherst in that area?
It's going to be down in the big green open patch near the War Memorial and to like the
Right.
gazebo area. Correct. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Looking forward to seeing all of you at one or all of our events. Thank you.
Oh, and I know we usually used to go to the high school to gather to watch. I'm sure if you go there, you probably see everything too, right?
Yeah, I don't believe the high school, well, I don't know what BUSD is doing if the field is open,
Okay.
but I feel that people will probably take their normal spots that they would for
Cool.
fireworks. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Next, our department director report, Ms. Kristen Smith.
Thank you, Chair Masurlian. This evening, we do not have a director's report. Thank you.
All right. Robbie, go ahead.
Because I know it's not on the agenda, but I wonder if you have anything you might want to share about our dog park? As acting director,
So at this time, we don't have any further update than what was given, I think, at the last meeting. But if the board so wants to hear a further update on that, we could bring that back, but it would have to be agendized.
Yeah, let's do that for the next meeting, yeah, I thought you might have some tidbit just to toss out.
I don't think there hasn't been an update since the last report that we provided.
All right. Thank you, Kristen. Now is the time for general public comment. For members of the public who are here in person and wish to speak, please present a completed yellow general public comment card to the recording secretary. Any person speaking during general public comment may address the board on any matter related to the Parks and Recreation Board. Excuse me. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. In order to promote fairness, please stay within your maximum allotted time of 3 minutes. A timer is available on the podium to help the speaker keep track of how much time is left. Please state your name for the record. I also encourage you to call in during the general public comment period. The phone number is 818-238-3335. Callers will be placed in a queue until all in-person comments have been received. For callers, please remember to lower the volume on your TV or computer and take your phone off speaker when you deliver your public comment. At this time, we will begin with in-person comments, and the first and only card we have today is Scout Raskin.
Hi, members of the board. Thank you for letting me speak today. My name is Scout Raskin. I'm the owner of Party Goats LA. I'm a local resident of Latuna Canyon and a survivor of the 2017 Latuna fire, which surrounded my home in the Verdugo Mountains. I live just on the other side of the mountain from you all here in Burbank. In 2024, so last year, I built a herd of around 40 goats and sheep to expand my business into wildfire prevention. We started grazing small properties last year and are completely booked solid this year. The response from the public has been incredible. One of my potential clients this year was the Castaway Restaurant. They are motivated to use my herd this season to clear defensible space around the property in compliance with brush clearance code. And because I carry permits with the City of LA to do this work, I reached out to Burbank FD to see what permits would be required here in the City of Burbank. I was told that goats and sheep have never been used to graze in the City of Burbank, and that there's a city ordinance listing goats as non-domestic animals, so the work would not be permitted. I'm speaking to you today to see how we can work together to either revise this ordinance or provide a special permit to allow goats and sheep to graze our mountainsides to protect us from wildfires. The recent wildfire in this exact area on Tuesday should be a huge reminder that we need more land management, especially on these mountainsides that border our city. I received training in this field from the Grazing School of the West. I'm experienced in creating defensible space, fire breaks, and reducing fuel load on natural land. There are many benefits of using animals to protect property, reduce in-soil seed banks, and restore the more fire-resistant chaparral to the landscape. I'm going to go over just briefly a few of them with my last minute. One is terrain. Obviously, it's dangerous for people to be up on those mountainsides clearing brush. Animals are perfect for that. They also eat our invasive species, which reduces our fuel bank in the soil over the years and allows more natural fire-resistant California plant life to regrow. There's no disposal fees. They eat the vegetation, so there's no raking, no hauling all that fire fuel out of here. And then they also deposit their nitrogen-rich manure and grind ground vegetation into the soil. So rather than the nutrients in those plants being burned up and going into the air, they return back to the soil. I have 23 seconds left. Eco-friendly, obviously. No fossil fuels, no noise pollution. It builds community. We're finding that people come out to see the goats and meet their neighbors, which is also really great for not only a safety in emergencies, but also just to get the community to come together. And then I have 2 seconds left, so if anyone wants to talk to me more about this, I would love to have an in-person meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your comments. Sorry, one second. Do we have, Megan, do we have anyone on the phone? We do not. Okay, sounds good. All right, well, I'd like to open up to our board members for any comments. Nothing? Just real quick from my end, thank you, Scout, for coming up. I believe this was quickly brought to our attention, and appreciate you elaborating a little bit more. Given there is some sensitivities around the code, it's a little, to be honest, it's a little out of my wheelhouse to really respond further to that. I know the staff has worked, with council and other, departments to kind of discuss. So I think Kristen might have a quick statement about it, and I'm sure that, we're happy to, continue having discussion and dialogue, but I don't want to overstep kind of like where my wheelhouse is on that, so go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman Sterlian. So as Ms. Raskin stated, currently under the Burbank Municipal Code, the keeping of the certain non-domestic animals such as goats is prohibited within the city limits unless it's for a specific authorized use as outlined in that code, which is section 5-1-301. So currently, using goats for brush clearance is not listed as one of those permitted uses under that section. So it certainly would require a change to the code and involving multiple different departments should there be, interest in moving forward with that and getting agreement from all those different departments.
Got it. Thank you so much. Yeah, so obviously there's a code, and that's probably a somewhat complicated process to kind of get that moving. But if this is something you're passionate about and really would love to see it in Burbank, I would encourage you to talk to the staff and figure out the right avenues to pursue that. And if they can go through those avenues and get it changed, be great. But beyond that, I don't have any other comment to give. But I appreciate you coming out and elaborating on your business and all the great benefits of this. Thank you.
Sure, Mr. Lane, I'll just add, I think that staff has Ms. Raskin's number, so
Okay,
we
perfect.
are able to get in contact with her.
Fantastic.
Thank
Thank you so much. Do we have any written communication today?
you. None received.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, any other park board comments before we, Mickey?
I just want to thank the city staff, Parks and Recreation Department for the tremendous support they showed our Veterans Committee at our 2025 Memorial Day ceremony at McCambridge Park. As far as the park department is concerned, the grounds were beautiful. The Rose Garden looked wonderful. And so I want to give props to the Parks Department, plus the DIG program, who was out there on the 18th of May and augmented what the Parks Department has done with the Rose Garden. But it was a beautiful day, wonderful ceremony, and on behalf of my colleagues on the Burbank Veterans Committee, I want to thank the Park and Recreation staff from Marissa all the way down, or the whole department, for the tremendous support they've always showed, and respect. You know, the respect is even more appreciated. And I think, once again, not to brag, but I think we put on a very sensitive, meaningful ceremony. And, you know, I'm very, very lucky to work with a lot of wonderful people on the Veterans Committee. And we also are getting some younger people wanting to join us. So, because, you know, some days I'm not going to be able to do it. So I'm going to have somebody to, but it's going to be a while if I can help it. But anyway, I just wanted to thank everybody and thank to the community and the surrounding communities for all their support. Thank you.
I want to just give a quick shout out. We talked about this before the meeting, but the Burbank Animal Shelter went above and beyond. This past Saturday was a free adoption day that I attended to meet up with the director, and I'll tell you, you were almost ready to burst out crying. The line was out the door, and the volunteers were lined up showing dogs. I think we adopted more than almost 20 dogs. I mean, and big dogs. I mean, you know, it's so heartbreaking to see them there, but wow, what a rush to see so many Burbankers and others there to adopt. And I mean, all these volunteers just lined up. Who's next? Who's next? Who's next? It was just so gratifying to be. Sometimes you forget that's part of Parks and Rec, but wow, it was really something. So if anybody from the volunteers of the Burbank Animal Shelter or shelter staff are listening to this, boy, you really did an awe-inspiring job. Dogs and cats went out too. So having been a volunteer for the animal shelter, and my own cat is from there, it was very inspiring. So right on, Burbank. Thanks.
Thank you, Robbie. Anything weird? I just have one quick comment. If you guys follow Burbank Parks on social, or City of Burbank, you would have maybe seen in the last day or two, they got recognized, and I apologize if I'm not giving the title of it correctly, but I think one of 26 cities that got recognized by the FIFA World Cup host committees as, like, you know, for their incredible work in adaptive sports. So I think it's a true testament to the city for all the work that you guys do with adaptive sports, and to be recognized by a global organization like that says a lot. So follow the Instagram and Twitter and all that, and you'll see all these great news about what Burbank's doing, especially the Parks Department. So good work. And I know we're going to get into some new business, and I know we still have a little bit of the meeting, but I do want to take 2 minutes real quick to recognize fellow board member Ashley Ramsey, who's been started on the board with me 4 years ago. Unfortunately, this is her last meeting of her term, and she's going to go on do different things with her life right now. But it's been a pleasure serving 4 years with you. You're just the sweetest, kindest person that, especially your passion for sustainability and green initiatives and the arts, I think, and some of the subcommittees you served on to bring a lot of those to life has made an impact, and I'm sure you'll be missed. And so thank you so much for the last 4 years, and hopefully you won't be a stranger to us.
Thank you so much. If it's okay, I'll go ahead and just, I can't believe it's been 4 years. It sometimes feels like it's been a couple of months. Sometimes it feels like it's been 10 years. I don't know what time is anymore. But I started this board in 2021, right at the height of, it was in the midst of COVID, and I remember that was a big year. A lot of us, there were many of us that were appointed to boards that year. And I remember I was on my computer just waiting. And I was like, I have it. I have the votes. I have the votes. And it was a very exciting moment. So I have thoroughly enjoyed serving on the Parks and Rec board. It's been such a pleasure. I want to thank the staff of the Department of Parks and Rec. You are amazing. You do so much for this community. It's a testament to you. We have all these recognitions, and it's a testament to our staff and our Parks and Rec department and the dedication that you have for this city. And I want to thank my fellow board members. It's been an honor to serve with all of you. Like I said, I can't believe it's been 4 years. And I do also want to thank City Council for giving me this opportunity and for believing in me and for giving me a chance. And most importantly, I want to thank the Burbank community. I want to thank all of the people that have stood at this podium and given their public comment. And we have some amazing people. This community is amazing, and you care about the community, and it really shows. So please come out, continue to come out, and always give public comment, and just continue the love and passion for the city as I do. And I'll be around. I'm not going anywhere, so I'll see you around. Come say hi. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashley. All right, transitioning. Thank you again. Transitioning into a couple of items of new business, I'd like to invite up Ms. Kristen Smith, who's going to discuss some conceptual designs of the Starlight Bowl Amphitheater Transformation Project. Or is it Aaron's going to give it? Oh, you're going to give it. Okay.
It's me and a few consultants. So I'm going to go ahead and present from here, and then our consultants will present from the podium. So good evening, Chair and board members. Kristen Smith, Assistant Parks and Recreation Director. Thank you for this opportunity to present this update on the Starlight Bowl project. Our team has been actively engaging the community through a series of workshops, and we're here tonight to share where we are in that process and hear your input as we work to shape the long-term vision of this cherished venue. Ms. Barrows shared during her report that the Starlight Bowl did suffer some significant damage during the windstorms on January 7th and 8th. City officials have been thoroughly assessed the impact, including fallen trees, extensive roof damage, electrical issues, and water intrusion. Cleanup has been completed, and the full scope of repairs and associated costs are being finalized at this time. But we remain hopeful about the reopening of the venue in its current form as soon as possible. In the meantime, we do hope the board and the community will attend the free concerts and movies planned this summer while the Starlight Bowl is on tour. These events are a great way to continue to enjoying arts and culture today during the venue's temporary closure. At the same time, we're excited to embark on a thoughtful, inclusive process and reimagine the Starlight Bowl's future in a vibrant, accessible space that meets all the evolving needs and values of our community. The idea of modernizing the bowl is not new. Weather, time have taken a toll, and the facility requires major updates in accessibility, infrastructure, and programming capabilities. More importantly, this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity for us all to create a venue that better serves local artists and arts organizations, while positioning Burbank as a prominent regional cultural destination. Importantly, this new project will remain within the existing boundaries of the current facility, respecting the site's footprint. I want to let the board know that we are very much at the beginning of this process. No decisions have been made yet. There are still many steps ahead, including detailed planning, traffic studies, funding, and conducting environmental reviews. This is a complex, multi-year effort, from design and planning through construction. Our goal is to deliver a final outcome that the entire Burbank community is proud of. So today you will hear from some of the experts guiding this effort, and we welcome your questions and your feedback. At this time, I'd like to introduce John Bueri from Stratoscope, our community engagement consultant, who will walk us through these next steps.
One quick question before we
Yes.
get started. Just out of curiosity, you said looking forward to what you have. So this is few years down the road. So does that mean the Starlight Bowl would not be open for that period of time, or would the Starlight Bowl be open, like with fixing it up to where it's safe, and then the design process takes place?
So our hope is that with the damage that occurred through the windstorms, our hope is that we would be able to repair that in the next year and be able to open in the interim before we do this larger project.
Got it.
But
Thank
we
you.
haven't had that meeting yet to confirm the costs and get approval on that. But that is certainly our hope.
Okay, thank you.
I'll turn it over to John. Thank you.
Perfect. Perfect. Good evening, members of the Commission and Park Board. My name is John Bueri. I'm the CEO of Stratoscope, and I've had the honor and privilege to work alongside staff and some of our partner consultants as we begin, as Kristen mentioned, begin this process. We have focused our initial interactions with the community on getting input, and we've done a lot of listening in the last couple of weeks, which I'll speak to in a moment. You can see some photos here from the 4 meetings that we've had already. We've been out in the community, but this project actually comes back to 2012 is when this started. And so if we think it's a long project, what's ahead of us, it's been over a decade that we've been working at this as a city, as a community. It was at that time that through direction from this board and the council, that we began the effort to say, what could it be? What could be different? How could it be better serving our community? Fast forward through a number of iterations to 2023, we've had a couple designs. A new refreshed design was presented in 2023 and a renewed interest post-pandemic to say, let's really go back to the community. It's been a while. Let's have these conversations. So in 2024, we began an initial community engagement process to talk to key individuals in the community just to float the concept. Are people still interested? Generally, the answer was yes, and we began in earnest to talk with adjacent neighbors and the broader community in late 2024. And then come to 2025, you saw photos of those meetings. We began a formal process of community engagement to continue to gather input. And that's where we are even tonight, is the process of, we have concepts, but these are not final. Anyone who's ever done any project, big or small, knows that oftentimes you don't end up with what you started. And because this is a community asset, we are going to the community to get their feedback for what is possible. There's a lot of opinions, a lot of expertise in neighborhoods across Burbank, and we want to hear that input. We've done that again through formal meetings. We've been at different events such as the art festival just last weekend, 2 weekends ago. We were at Fire Service Day. We were at Holiday in the Park in November. We are trying to get out and talk to as many people as possible. We're knocking door to door and continuing to work with neighbors in the area. And as Kristen mentioned, and we'll hear in a moment, this is just right now on the concept of the design. There's other community engagement processes specific to traffic, to operations, to environmental that are coming in the next process. So tonight I'm going to introduce my colleague and the lead project manager from Lair Architects, Eric, who's going to walk us through the concepts and some of the ideas around just initial concepts on parking and operations as well. So turn it over to Eric.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Board, for allowing us to present this evening.
Briefly, I'll introduce, Eric Alden. I've been working at Lair Architects since 2005. Lair Architects, we're in Silver Lake. Founded in 1985 by my boss, Michael Lair. We are dedicated to optimism, innovation, sustainability, and community-driven design. Our projects are inherently, by the way we work, community hubs. They're havens for leisure, entertainment, recreation, and for indoor-outdoor amenities. It's something we really strive for in almost every job we do. From the beginning, on this job more than most, we partner with you and the community to make the facility the very best it can be and work for everybody. Go to the next slide. So this is a view, conceptual view from the aerial perspective, so straight down from the air. We will be informed through the design process from your input and the community's input that we're gathering as we go through this. The enhancements will establish a cohesive sense of space that supports all the community needs and the technical and accessibility needs of the facility. The improvements will elevate the overall experience of the bowl, not just from the seating, but from the parking and all the way through. And we'll walk you through, in this quick presentation, I'm going to walk you from the bottom up the hill to the top of the bowl. Let's go to the next slide. So this is a small amenity that you'd see upon arrival. We call this the Street Plaza Oasis. It's near kind of the pickup drop-off area at Lockheed View Drive. And it'll be a small area that welcomes you to the venue, and it's, a place like classes can meet, or you can wait for your friend coming down the hill, or wait for them before you go up. And it's near the pickup and drop-off area. Next slide. This is a view of the Stowe Park at the bottom of the hill, near the parking. So you're flying approximately, 50 feet off the ground, like you're in a mini helicopter or drone here. The thing to make note of is that Stowe Park would remain a park. It'll be a public amenity that's open for passive and active recreation. You can still walk your dog there or jog, but we also want to try to make it a venue that could be a wide range of possible programs. Go to the next slide. So this would feature possibly an amphitheater and a small stage that could be for public use, or for small, maybe ticketed events as well. We would aim to maximize that space to service needs of the community for all sorts of events. This lower stage would be approximately 2,000 square feet, and the capacity could be anywhere from 100 to 500 guests, depending on how you configure it or seat it. And point to make, there are 2 large bathrooms that will be down here at this level. Next slide. So this is a view of what we call the terrace procession. This is one of the more difficult aspects of the improvement, the accessibility, getting people up this hill in an easy way. You'll notice the red switchback. Those are ramps to get people up via wheelchair ramp. On the left, you see the driveway. That's fire department access. It's also loading, unloading for the stage equipment, and also emergency vehicles of all sorts. And along the terraces, you'll notice areas you can picnic, stop, hang out. There'll probably be more trees than this. We had to kind of remove some of the trees from the view so that you could actually see what was going on under there. Go to the next slide. And that would take you up to right now we're just calling the main plaza. This is where you would have arrived if you've gotten to the bowl. This is where your ticketing, restrooms, concessions are. There's also a space kind of on the west side for the ADA shuttle drop-off and the shuttle parking spaces. And there are lots of gathering areas here, small and large. And from here, you would find the stairs and elevators to the stage levels, and to the back of house levels, there would be freight elevators and people elevators for back of house and visitors, ticketed visitors. At this level, there will also be 2 large restrooms, and just kind of a side note, across the entire facility, there'll be about 180 toilets and urinals but they're spread out from bottom to top. But the majority of them are at this level. Go to the next slide. So this is a view of the seating itself. We're kind of flying above stage left a bit so you can see the seating. What's important to note, again, is that the seating is within the same area, and it consists of the same rough configuration. You have general seating, you have boxes, and lawn seating up at the top, just like you have now. The total proposed seating capacity would increase to about 4,700 from right now, I think it's about 38. So 2,200 general seating, no longer benches, but individual seats. About 1,900 can fit on the lawn, and the box seating would actually be reconfigured to increase a bit. So about 640 new box seats, which would be about 138 boxes, which are 4 to 6 people seating, as opposed to currently we have 64 boxes that are only 4 person, which is a little problematic, we've discovered. So we have multiple options for the box sizes now. So as moving up the hill, this is a view of the lawn, and I think the thing to notice here is on the left is the upper level concessions building. We'd love to add not a big building, but a long building at the top that has bathrooms, concessions, and probably some places to sit, tabled seating for people to, it's a destination. That's got the best view. And to get people up to the top of that hill would be it's just one of the greatest assets of the facility is up at the top in the view. So bathrooms, it's a long walk from there. So to get bathrooms up there would be a huge get. To make this work, again, we need to widen the fire lane a bit from the bottom up to here so that fire trucks and emergency vehicles can come up, which would be on the right of this view here. And go to the next slide. And again, this is your view from the top, again, showing you what a great view you have over the city of Burbank and to the Hollywood Hills beyond. Okay, so this slide, everyone's favorite topic, parking. The thing to know, we are actively working currently with both the city's transportation groups, and we have a third-party consultant, Fair and Peers, who's done a lot of work in the city of Burbank to help develop a transportation management solution for the bowl. That study is currently underway, and we'll be sharing that as it develops further, so keep that in mind. This layout that you see here is the current conceptual plan. Contrast that with the way the parking works now. It's stacked in. We have parking attendants that will pack you in, bumper to bumper, and they can fit about 900 cars that way. It's very efficient, but you're stuck. You can't get out. This is a more traditional, what's it called? Access aisle parking like at Walmart, right? You can drive in and out. You can park when you want. This gets us to about 550 spots. So it's an overall parking reduction. But what we hope to do to supplement the actual trips is on the left, it's kind of, I don't know if you have good eyes, you can see there's a pickup drop-off area at the upper lot on the left. So the idea is to have a really efficient area for shuttling, taxi and rideshare services to get more people up the hill, but hopefully with less overall car trips. So that's what, again, Fair and Pierce is studying that right now with the programming models that we're using. And so this next section we'll actually talk about is the programming. What kind of events are we having here in the future? And where does the bowl sit in the landscape of live entertainment in Southern California? To answer these questions, we're working with another consultant. They're named AMS Planning and Research, and they are an arts management consulting group that are helping us develop operating scenarios. So we're looking at different ways to operate the facility. And the focus for them really is on the experiences of the community at large, the audience who goes there, but also the artists who will hopefully be drawn to come play here, because that's very important as well. Go to the next slide. So this just one of the first things they started to look at when we started the process. This is a heat map of one event from last summer. This is the 4th of July fireworks at the Bowl. Where do people come from to visit the Bowl, right? As you can imagine, most people came from the dark blue areas, that's like Burbank, North Hollywood areas, but it does draw a wide range. I mean, you can see some people came from Covina, Thousand Oaks, and Santa Clarita. And again, the hopes is that with certain types of events, we might be able to draw those people from the larger LA area. So that tells us it's certainly possible. This slide, you'll notice there's two big circles. One is a 30-mile radius from the Bowl, which is your star in the middle. And the larger one is a 50-mile radius. And I think what's important to understand with this is that most venues have what's called a 50-mile radius non-compete clause. So any other venue in Southern California that's within that larger circle most likely will be limited to any act that plays in one of those other red dots, which are other venues, will not be able to play at the Bowl within 6 months. That's a very standard contract agreement. So we're competing, in a sense, with all those other little red dots. And so who are those red dots? This first list, it's kind of a long list. We don't have to go through all of them. But this is the 30-mile radius one, and Hollywood and downtown LA fall within this. And there's a lot of venues in those areas. Go to the next slide. This is the 30 to 50-mile distance. And then the next slide, I think, is one I want to highlight, where our team, AMS, again, they're looking specifically at these two venues, the Greek Theater and the Ford, as two local examples of venues that are both outdoor, but have slightly different operating models. The Greek is a little bit bigger, and it has more kind of, I would say, well-known like R&B pop acts, and their capacity is a bit larger. And the Ford, which is smaller and has more culturally focused events, and again, they operate a little differently. So we're trying to fall a little bit in between those two. And they're also, I'll point out, they're studying other venues around the country that are also outdoor and have different operating models that we're trying to, mimic and model our operations around. So that's going to be coming later as well. And I think the last slide is just thank you for allowing us to present. This is also a conceptual movie night. We're hoping that we can have some fun events like that. And we have a short fly-through video that I'd like to share with you guys as well. So if you look at the screens, you can watch the fly-through. So thank you for allowing us to show you what we've done so far. We're happy to take any feedback you guys have. And both the park staff and John and I are here to, answer any questions you guys have.
Thank you so much. That was a great presentation, really good visuals. Appreciate the video at the end. I have a question and comment, but I'll save it for the end. I'll let my park board members address first. So anybody have any questions, comments, feedback?
Wait. Don't you think this is going to be a great opportunity for so much public art, right? I mean, a great space to enjoy it that is monitored, and oh my gosh, I can't wait till, well, by the time your baby is in high school, we'll be enjoying the new Starlight Bowl. Yeah, that was a great presentation.
Thank you. I'm really excited I'm excited for the updates, and just to see what kinds of things we bring to the Starlight Bowl.
Nikki or Aisha, maybe?
Can you walk me through just one more time about the idea of accessibility?
Yeah, absolutely. So any improvements that we do here, we're gonna have to, at a very base level, meet the California Building Code requirements and obviously nationally the ADA minimum code. So, and that's one of the biggest sort of deficiencies of the facility as a whole. So from the bottom to the top, we're gonna have a combination of either ramps, elevators, or possibly shuttles if we can't really afford to get the full people movers all the way up to the back of the bowl. Then we're gonna have, there's options for doing shuttling up that road on the left. But we're hoping like through a series of ramps and elevators, and possibly I think on the east side, we're looking at doing, escalators or moving walkways to try to get everybody up on that side.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know you talked about shuttles, and I could see the imagery that looks like there's some accessibility, but I just wanted to make sure that that's certainly consideration, given how.
It's kind of one of the biggest things is the accessibility and just bringing the technological updates to the bowl itself to make sure it's like a 21st century outdoor performing arts facility and that it's going to function well for the next, 50 to 100 years. That's what
I was just going to add that, along with what Eric had said, there also is the idea that there would be a shuttle that actually would take folks that needed assistance all the way up behind the upper restroom and concession area and actually drop people off there, along with a people mover possibly on the other side to be able to take people up. So
I love that.
we're studying all of that.
So much better for the entire community to participate. Thank you.
Yeah.
Quick question, beautiful presentation. I mean, it's really exciting to see what the venue could potentially look like, especially at the top there where you have the area to sit, and like you say, it's the best view.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the parking will go down from, 900 to 500, is that where you, something like that?
Right now, it's about 550.
Oh,
but
okay. Okay.
it's a
So,
soft number, yeah.
I know there's other places like McCambridge where people could, similar to the Greek Theater Park at Griffith Park, and then be shuttled up.
That's right.
Right.
That's one of the things that Fair and Piers, our traffic consultants, looking at is remote parking, but potentially identifying other lots down the hill that people can shuttle from. Yeah, that's right. That's a scenario that.
And really quick, we're trying to upgrade our rideshare drop-off and pickup. Right now, it is extremely difficult because it's down closer to DeBell Golf Course. And individuals still, if they walk, they still have a pretty lengthy walk, or they need to wait for the shuttle. So in this new plan, there's going to be, with where these shuttle drop-offs are going to be, it's going to allow rideshare to drop off and pick up in that area too. So we're hoping with that ease that's going to promote individuals accessing or using rideshare more than they are currently.
Right. So I know this is maybe not what is the timeline? I mean, is there even a timeline right now at all? Probably for a while, it'll take a while.
I'm happy
obviously.
to take that. So Board Member DiPaolo, as I said, this is a complex project and it will take some time. But roughly, if everything continues to move forward, probably in the next 5 to 7 years.
Well, that's good. That's great. That's shorter than I thought. But anyway, wonderful presentation. Thank you both very much.
Yep. Thank you. Actually,
you.
Mickey, I don't know if you're got some telepathy. You can read my mind. You asked the same question and same feedback in terms of remote parking and shuttling as I would, and then I like the ride sharing pulling up to the front. So that's good. I think at some point we had given some feedback about more box seating, and so the fact that that's added with kind of the more non-bench seating, I like that as well. I love the upper tier with bathrooms up there and some concessions, and kind of like an area where people get tired of sitting on the grass and they want to stand up and stretch and watch and have a beer or whatever. Like I like all that. I don't know if it's just a preliminary design. I was just curious how you guys. I don't know if it's just more for mocking up purposes, but why'd you guys go with red? I was just curious where red came from. It doesn't.
It's a great question, and you're not the first person to ask that. We've, like John said, we've been 4 or 5 community meetings now, and I don't know. We get that question a lot. So when we design, we use colors kind of aggressively sometimes. Sometimes we get bad feedback for that, and that's okay. In this design, I think it's important to point out, so we used the red largely on the walkways to help people understand and like visualize where are people walking versus where are people sitting, where are people standing. So at the moment, it's kind of a visual cue. We also use that in final designs often to do the same thing. We try to minimize signage, walk this way to your seat. If you have a red stripe guiding you, that can help you know, okay, well, I'm supposed to go this way. There's a really good chance we don't end up with red all over it, especially a red that vibrant. It's actually a very difficult color to achieve in concrete. You've probably seen red walkways all over. If anything, it might be a terracotta red. It's probably going to be a more like subdued color than that. But we do it to get feedback like this, actually. Like, I hate red, I like blue. People have a lot of opinions about colors, and sometimes it's good to just kind of draw that out early.
I didn't have an opinion one way or another. Just curious where, because it's not like a city color or doesn't really blend with the nature. So I was just curious where the red came from. But
well, I'll just say that's a comment we got a lot about. A lot of the community members want it to blend more into the hillside. So preferences for greens and yellows. We did hear that a bit.
Awesome. No, that's great. And then I have one more question, and this may be more of an Aaron question, but I'm not sure. So typically, I know we've gotten more, cover bands and that type of stuff. Does the quality of the technology of the audio and this type of seating, and does that play a factor in the types of acts that you get? And I'm assuming you kind of alluded to it, is that being, with all the money and time that'll be spent into this, is that all being included to then draw? I'm not saying you're going to bring actual Bruno Mars, probably not going to happen, but like a little bit more known people versus just cover bands. Is that all being kind of taken into consideration? I don't know how that works.
So yes, I think Starlight Bowl, as beautiful as it is right now, does lack the appeal for some of those bigger bands for numerous reasons. That's one of the things that AMS is looking at right now, is different models, programming models of different like venues. The hope is, and this is something that we're going to be bringing back to the board in August, is the AMS will be here and we'll be talking about the programming aspects at that point, as well as they continue to do research and collect data to bring it forward, and listening to the community, because the community has had a lot of feedback and opinions on the programming as well, wanting to keep it very community, but knowing if we do have this new beautiful facility, that there will be some bigger shows to draw in individuals from outside of Burbank and the surrounding community. So I think at the very least, this is going to be a much different operational venue than it is currently, for everybody, for staff, for vendors, for patrons, and for the artists that we bring in. And the hope is that it will attract individuals that maybe haven't thought of Starlight Bowl before. But then we also have to look at the 50-mile radius as well, right? So some of these bigger groups are locked in at some different venues, so that will hold us as well. But again, we will bringing this back to this board in August.
No, that's great, and I think it's a fine line of keeping it community based, because it's at the end of the day, I mean, nobody's gonna expect to go watch, Taylor Swift there. I mean, that's not the expectation, but so people want to go hear the music that they enjoy, the genre of music, and hang out with their friends, and just it's an easy place to get to, and it's in your backyard. So, but at the same time, if you're spending this kind of time and effort and money and beautifying it, you do want to, maybe up the game a little bit with, to a slightly higher level talent that's maybe a little bit well known, and I'm sure that'll come with its own changes, whether it's pricing or whatever it is. But yeah, I know it's a fine line, so just was curious enough. But I think the design looks great. I don't really have much to add there. Mickey, you sound like you want to say something.
Real quick. Now, so let's say like Alison Krauss does the Greek Theater, and that we want to get it here in Burbank, so we have to wait 6 months. Is that what it was, or? Right.
Yeah, that's our understanding. Is that
Okay.
it's just a period of time, so they could come back and play the next
Right,
year or something like that. yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. And like Chairman Serlian said, that as far as, obviously it's going to be a beautiful facility, money well spent, but also at the same time, to get as much use as we can, there's going to have to be more concerts, more events. So then you've got the neighborhood that needs to. So I'm sure that's all being considered. I'm just saying that's something that years ago they wanted to do something. I'm talking about early 70s. I've been around a while, so they wanted to do something, and the neighborhood kind of was sort of against it, and they had, and ended up something was happening up there, but not even to the scale we have. But now I think we do a great job with what we have. I think staff has really knocked it out of the ballpark, and we got 53% on July 4th, and the rest from outside Burbank, and that's pretty much the way it is, I think, for most of the concerts that we have up there. But anyway, thanks again. Appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
If I could just, Mickey, he's such a mind reader, because this was the subject that I was going to ask. What kind of feedback did you get? That I'm sure that there are members of the community, we don't want more traffic and more this and more that, and you're going to destroy the integrity. That's a very Burbank sentiment about lots of things, whether it's a Whole Foods or a new tree. So what kind of feedback were you getting from the community about something that I think the idea is to have more people, more events, more traffic, more. What kind of feedback were you getting?
I'll let John answer.
So yeah, I think it's too soon to give you a final answer. This is intended to be a process that is collaborative with all stakeholders, with the neighbors adjacent being a particular important and priority stakeholder group. We began earlier this year with understanding by a baseline, by knocking on doors and understanding what's the impact now. And through that initial conversation helps us understand, before we talk about more, what is the impact now. That generally, from the about 100 people we talked to in various streets at Bel Air and Sunset and Walnut, et cetera, through the north-south streets, we found generally people were like, it's okay, it's well managed. Staff does a great job of managing the exit, like different comments like that. And there were some folks, sometimes it gets congested on 4th of July. We had one comment that was, Halloween is worse than the 4th of July, and that's not even a concert, right? Just the way traffic and parking works. So we take that as a baseline. The next phase begins to engage directly with different neighborhoods, because different streets in that neighborhood have different impacts. Some are the ingress, some are the egress. And so how do we balance that? we also are bringing to bear technologies and engineering that didn't exist in the 70s for sure, and protocols and solutions that we're seeing in other venues like a Greek theater or a Ford theater or other venues around shuttling, around rideshare, the Uber and Lyft components. And so it's this iterative process that will help us work with the neighbors to understand truly their concern. And our goal is to mitigate as much as we can an impact that is overwhelming to them. It is a process, though, and we have to understand that there is maybe no silver bullet of a solution that says you get something better with zero change. And so we're trying to just work as best we can to include their feedback and address their concerns as best we can.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm so glad that you're being very mindful of that. As a Flatlander, living on the other side of the freeway, I don't know about this fancy pants life up there, but I want to be mindful of it, and I want to be respectful of them. Friends of mine that live around the Greek, it is a source of contention whenever they add one more concert night, because it's very impactful there. Of course, this is different, but I think our goal is to increase the use and capacity, so I would appreciate it. Keep that at the very forefront of everything that we do as we move forward, I think. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate everything, and we'll look forward to following updates.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Take care. Moving on, one more piece of new business. I'd like to introduce Ms. Megan Wilkie, who will update us on the facility or future park naming in honor of Dewey Krugerberg.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Masurlian, members of the board, Megan Wilkie, analysts for the Parks Department. Tonight, I'd like to provide an update and receive the board's input and feedback on the potential naming options to honor Mr. Dewey Krugerberg. As you may recall, during the March 13th board meeting, staff presented an initial report outlining a proposal to name a future park or facility in recognition of Mr. Krugerberg's contributions. One option that was shared was to name a future park to be located on top of Reservoir One, adjacent to Palm Ball Field, which is located at 1125 East Orange Grove. Staff also discussed incorporating adaptive features at this location to reflect Mr. Krugerberg's inclusive approach to the park's programs. During this meeting, the board was supportive of honoring Mr. Krugerberg and encouraged staff to consider exploring other options. Board Member DiPaolo also expressed the importance of establishing a more immediate tribute and recommended looking at existing sites such as George Isaiah Park. Following the March board meeting, staff met with the department's management team to evaluate current facilities that could be fitting for this purpose. This evening, staff is presenting two options for the board's consideration. Option one, the Dewey Krugerberg Sports Complex. This would involve renaming the current complex, which is located at Olive Park, or George Isaiah Park, and it would be named the Dewey Krugerberg Sports Complex. This site borders the Olive Recreation Center, which is one of the department's busiest facilities for recreation classes and programs. The complex is scheduled for upcoming enhancements, including installation of new shade structures over the bleachers. If the board supports this naming opportunity, the renaming could align with the completion of those upgrades as early as this summer 2025. This location is highly visible and active year-round with sports leagues, special events, and recreation programming, making it a prominent and well-loved space for a tribute of this nature. Option two, the Dewey Krugerberg Aquatic Facility. This option would rename the McCambridge Park Pool to the Dewey Krugerberg Aquatic Facility. This would be in part of a much larger redevelopment project that the board may already be familiar with. To provide some background, the McCambridge Pool was originally built in 1955 and has significantly outlived its design life. This project is envisioned in the city's 2025 Park Master Plan as a recreational aquatic hub. The proposed facility updates would include a new full bathhouse, a brand new mechanical building, a new multi-use swimming pool, which would include activity pool, splash elements, and a water slide similar to the Verdugo Aquatic Facility. The project will also include new deck space. While this option represents a meaningful long-term vision, it would take several more years to bring to fruition when compared to the complex. Once the board selects a preferred option, staff will proceed with the facility naming application and present it to City Council for consideration. Thank you. This concludes my presentation. I'll turn it over to the board for further discussion.
Thank you, Megan. Ashley?
Sorry, how long did you say the naming convention for option 2 would be?
The McCambridge pool is set to be complete before the Olympics in 2028. So all renovations will be done around that summer 2028.
Okay, and then option 1 as early as this summer?
This summer, in the coming months.
Okay.
The shade structures are actually starting, I think, in like 2 weeks.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mickey, do you have anything?
I think those are two really great options for two reasons. Number one, one reason, Mr. Krugerberg was instrumental in putting a bond issue through, helping put a bond issue through for the construction of McCambridge, the building and the pool. That was the first Olympic-sized pool in a municipal recreation program. And it was 1957 instead of 55 that they opened it, because I was there. But anyway, and also the softball complex and the Olive Recreation Center. When Mr. Krugerberg was department head, he was instrumental in getting the St. Louis Browns to come here and do their spring training. And also, he negotiated something, obviously along with the city of Burbank, with the USO, because Olive was a USO building. And he said something about, we're going to help you, we'll supply staff to work with the USO staff, but also at the end of when the war is over, you give us a building for like nothing. And that's what came to pass. So, and then he had the softball field there and put lights on it generally for the Lockheed people. So they could have family recreation at night. A lot of them were working during the war, working a lot of shifts and things like that, different shifts. So that was his concept. He would, like I said, he's a visionary, high school education, but he had just a ton of intelligence and common sense. And so to me, either venue that, I'm kind of like, let's get it done, but I'm open to both things. And whatever my colleagues, whatever we can decide as a group to send on to City Council, I'm all for it. So I think either one of those really work. I don't like the one up on Palm. I don't think that's, I don't think that honors Mr. Krugerberg's concept. He was the father of this department. And I never knew the man, but he sure impacted my life in a wonderful way. And I think and I'm not the only one. There were several people that worked in the department that worked with him and held him in just tremendous respect. And there's always been a kind of a groundswell to name a facility after this wonderful man. So anyway, thank you all for your hard work on that. So I'll dump to
Robbie.
colleagues.
Great presentation, Megan, but what's option 1? Where is it in East Hay Park?
So it would be the sports complex, which includes all 4 fields.
Gym.
So it would be the general name for all 4 fields. And just to provide a little bit more context, each field does have its own name.
Right, because
as well.
right now there's names on all the fields.
So it doesn't include the gym,
No,
just the ball fields?
just the
So
ball.
would all 4 be renamed?
No,
just
so
one name.
each field will still have their names, but when you refer to the sports complex of all 4 fields, it would be referred to as the Dewey Krugerberg Sports Complex.
So this is not part of what's going to be renovated with our East Hay Park project?
No.
So the ball fields are going to stay exactly as they are and where they are. So where would the name be, physically be? Just a plaque kind of at, eye level, or?
We haven't discussed that as options yet, but as part of the updates, we could include some commemorative plaque or sign with, signage. And again, all of the naming requests would have to be approved by council as well.
Because right now, I live across the street from that park. I think the names of each field are pretty big at the top. So it's easy to see which field you're in, but this would not be that.
No.
This would be kind of an overreaching,
Yeah.
I see.
The general name for all four ball fields and the soccer
So you
field.
would say that, I didn't know, that's what we call the sports complex, the four fields itself? Well, while you're still here, I say, let's do this one that's going to move the soonest so that you can be part of that decision-making. And I love that idea. I'll see it every day. I walk my dog right around that park at night.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Real quick, thank you. I could see like a Dewey Cooperberg Sports Complex facing Olive Avenue. And, and then you go Dewey Cooperberg Sports Complex, Bill Burton Field, Barbara Round Field, Jack Smock. Can't remember. Oh, was it
Bill Burton for Field 2.
Anyway, but, yeah, I could see that, and that's a faster one. And, like I said, I'm open to either. But I thank you all again. I think it's shows a lot of respect on your part and a lot of devotion. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So here's my opinion. Both are good options, very good options, much better than the original option.
Yeah.
So in that respect, great work coming up with these two. When you first presented, my gut was leaning towards option one, the sports complex, just because, A, it's a little quicker. It's kind of, not that McCambridge isn't, because it is, but Olive is just a very central hub of the community. There's a lot happening there. Again, not to take away from Cambridge because there's a lot happening there, but there's just a lot there. There's going to be the new master plan. But as you talked about the aquatic facility, and then as you kind of just answered a couple questions, when I heard sports complex, I was thinking all sport. I was thinking the gym, the this and that. So then I was just like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like that's based on everything Mickey said about Dewey, I was like, wow, that's a great honor. But then as I started thinking about it, okay, it's not really, when I think of the sports complex, I think of all sports that are taking place there, but it's not really the sports, it's more the ball fields. So it's really the Dewey-Krugerberg ball fields, not really the sports complex, if you want to get into semantics. So little misleading in terms of what it actually includes, because when I think of sports complex, I think of the entire place that I could play volleyball, basketball, ping pong, pool table, all the things that are offered there. So I don't know. Again, it's some semantics. And then the reason I'm leaning towards option two is because, I think it's just going to be, I know we got to wait a little more, but it's going to be a much more robust opportunity to really honor this gentleman that Mickey's spoken so highly about, that I think he'll just do him more justice with taking over the whole aquatic facility. And I think everything that's going to be taking place there, it's probably going to be an even awesomer version of the Verdugo aquatic. And if it's like that, I just feel like that's going to do that name more justice to take over something like that. Yeah, we got to wait a little longer. I just think it'll stand out more, and it'll just be, it'll honor him more to take over that whole facility versus just like a couple of ball fields. So that's just my opinion.
I agree with that. And like I said, I'm kind of an impatient person, but I would, because that was his park as far as, I hung out at that park before they had that building, it was ivy up there and weeds, and they had a Quonset hut from World War II up there where the ivy used to be. And he was the first one to have, a gymnasium like that, the 50-meter pool, so I could see, and you say 2028, is that, that's right when the Olympics are coming. That would be wonderful.
And imagine people, I mean, I could just already see it, talking to your family. Hey, let's go to the Dewey for, swimming. Like, let's go to the Dewey. Yeah, let's go to, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool.
I think it honors his legacy in a real, because that, like I said, that pool is his name. That's it. He had a stamp on that. He had a stamp on the whole community. He came up with the industrial recreation program when we had softball with Lockheed and all the industry here back when I was growing up. And so, can we make a motion?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got a motion to decide on a name to pass on to city council.
I make a motion that we pass on option 2 to city council for,
Consideration.
Anybody second?
right,
I second.
All in favor?
aye.
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 All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for a great presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah, ball fields, like, what's that?
Right. Okay.
I
Awesome.
didn't even know that's what it was.
All right, that concludes new business, so let's move on to the consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered routine by department staff and may be enacted on by the board by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless before the board votes on the motion to approve the recommendations, board members, staff, or public request specific items be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Removed consent items will be discussed separately. Do we have a motion to,
I'll move to adopt the consent calendar.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Okay, I don't believe we have any tabled items as far as I know, so we can move on from that. I know that we do have an introduction of a new agenda item, but before we get to that, any other park board comments about anything? Vicky?
There is a camp out at Gross Park that they announced earlier on Saturday night, and Sunday morning they're having a breakfast there. And our Burbank VFW is we're supplying the food, and also a lot of our veterans, myself included, are going to be there to help pass out the pancakes and bacon and scrambled eggs. So there's still room, and that $15 is a great price. And I think they have about 150 right now. So this is another great way to celebrate the 100th anniversary of our department. So if anybody's interested, be a fun time. So hope to see you guys on Sunday morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mickey, appreciate it. And that is, if you're available, that's a great way to spend Father's Day. So, there you go.
Can
Yeah, go ahead.
So, can I ask one question about that? About the camp out? Is that allowed? I'll ask offline. That's it.
All right. Well, since we don't have anything else, I'm going to move to introduction of new agenda items. Did you have an agenda item?
I would like to put our dog park progress on the agenda for, honestly, I'd like to see that as an agenda item every month. There's so much interest in our community. I see it online almost every day. And I think we owe it to the community to keep everybody posted, because I think we're a little bit behind our timeline. So if that's okay,
I've taken note. Thank you.
we're all ears. We're all ears.
Thank you for taking note of that. I know it's important to the board. I know to Robbie and to the community, it's very important. So, hopefully there will be an update, but even if there's not an update, even a non-update update, just to make sure that it's not a lost, and people are just like, what the heck is going on? So thank you for that. All right, since we have nothing else, we will adjourn this meeting. We will be dark in July, and we'll be back on August 14th. Thank you, everyone, and have a great evening.